The first time I saw an image from the Helios 44-2, I thought, damn, that swirl looks so cool. It was a few years before all the videos you see about them on any filmmaker YouTube channel these days. I got a Helios 58mm f2 lens off eBay for $40 and really liked the swirly bokeh and soft image from the lens. It felt so dreamy and otherworldly to me. I liked it so much that I bought a second one, then a third when I found a local selling the lens with a Zenit SLR camera for $20. But then I fell down the inevitable Helios rabbit hole. A 50mm is too tight. I need something wider. Enter the Mirror 1B 37mm f2.8, also a Zenit lens and has a similar bokeh swirl to the Helios 58mm. But everyone knows to have a full lens set, you need at least 3 lenses, a wide, a medium, and a tight. Most people recommend the cheap Jupiter 9 85mm f2 to match the Helios and the Mirror. It offers some swirl, and it has the same 49mm front thread size of the other lenses. But I found something even swirlier. Something so swirly, it's almost ridiculous. The Helios 85mm f1.5. It's big, it's heavy, and it's more expensive than the other two put together. But the swirly bokeh is out of this world. Let's be honest, the look isn't for everyone. Some people think it looks terrible. But as a cinematographer more so than a photographer, I like the feel it gives to my images and my films, and I think it resembles vintage Lomo lenses. To get the swirly bokeh on these lenses, they have to be wide open or the next stop down. You need the proper distance from your in-focus subject and the out-of-focus background. They can't be right up against it. And ideally, your background will have lights or textures that will swirl, not a solid color. Leaves with the sun peeking through are a perfect option. Chances are you'll find that the 37mm is still just a bit too tight. There are other options that go wider and still match the look, though the wider you go, the less swirl they seem to have. I opted for the Mirror 10A 28mm f3.5, and on the longer end, I added the Tair 11A 135mm for a telephoto lens to round out my set. In my latest short film, Tundra, I shot the entire film on the 37, the 58, and the 85, along with a Greatjoy 1.3x anamorphic adapter. Unfortunately, the adapter is an f2.8, so I had to stop down to around f4 for a lot of my shots so that they wouldn't be too soft, and I didn't really get much swirl. But it's probably for the best not to shoot an entire film at f2 anyway, since the audience wouldn't be able to see anything in the background that serves to tell the story. These vintage lenses are fully manual and were first made in the late 1950s after World War II. The USSR took over the German lens factories and used the plans for Carl Zeiss Biotar lenses to mass produce their own Helios lenses. So many were made that it's easy to find them cheap on eBay now. But it's worth looking into the quality in relation to the serial numbers, as it can strongly vary. The Helios lenses are very easy to modify. I have one Anamorphic following the Tito Ferdinand's instructions with an oval bokeh cutout and fishing line for anamorphic bokeh and flares. Some companies can even rehouse them in full cinema lens bodies. One of the most recent famous cases is the rehousing done on a 58mm Helios for the Batman to match the rest of the film's lenses on a car-mounted camera during the Penguin chase scene, which had every film YouTuber freaking out in joy and excitement. At some point, I'd love to rehouse my Helios set, as I find the aperture ring too small and it's easy to accidentally bump it when you're pulling focus. But for now, I'm happy to work with what I've got, using these lenses anytime I have a project that warrants a dreamy look, or to make the viewer feel like they're watching a film, not just video. I definitely recommend building out a 3-lens set for low-budget filmmakers. They're easy to adapt to mirrorless cameras, such as my EOS M, and it's worth getting a speed booster if you're not already shooting full frame, so you get to see all the swirl and effects from the edges of the lens. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Leave a comment if you have any questions or even stories about these lenses yourself. Please consider subscribing because I have some really cool videos coming this year on achieving the film look on digital sensors, on repairing old cinema cameras, on using vintage lenses, and my ongoing search for the best color cameras out there that no one talks about.
Alors, ça c'est la vie de moi, Alex.Vietinghoff, et j'espère que tu as appris quelque chose À propos de moi.